So this is Mike and Sean with Talking Tickets. We got a special guest, Marc Mader. He's a big boy ticket collector. He goes after the big stuff, but I'm sure he's got a lot of other things and stuff he'd like to talk about. So we'll get to him, get our things going, and come on, get it started. All right, Marc. Well, thanks for joining us. For those who don't know Marc, we know him through Instagram. He has some of the biggest tickets out there, but we figured it'd be a good one to talk to and see what he has to say. And of course, we got Sean. But thanks for joining us, Marc.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. We don't know much about you other than some of the tickets you post on Instagram. We know you got some big boys, but yeah, just a little bit about yourself and your ticket collecting past and hobbies and all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, of course. So I started with memorabilia. I think everybody kind of started in memorabilia, autographs. I moved into cards probably early 2015. Got into a seven-figure card collection, and then it just exploded in 2021. So I felt like that was the height of the market. I didn't want to get back into the card market or go any further with what I had. And so I wanted to explore more organic type memorabilia, and game used, jerseys, uniforms, anything game used. I mean, you buy 3 or 4 jerseys, game used, Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. I mean, you're pretty much out of the market after 3 or 4 purchases. So I started following Ravel. I started following you, Sean, you too, Mike, and everybody in the ticket world. And I saw how organic it was. I saw how the closest you can get to the game is with that ticket, besides the game used uniforms. So that's basically how I got into the tickets.
Nice. So would you, I guess, so you were into cards pretty early, I guess, before the boom. And then, what have you thought about the recent ticket boom?
Look, I'm probably part of it. Here's what I think about the boom. I think people are going to pay for what they want. Okay, they're going to pay if they want something. They're going to pay if they can afford it. Go ahead and pay for it. I don't think it's market manipulation. I think it's people wanting to get something that, like I said, that's more organic, that's rare, that has some. You look at a Jackie Robinson or a Mickey Mantle debut. How many of those are out there compared to the rookie card?
True.
You can look at the Jackie Robinson PSA and his 48 leaf. There's probably over 48 or 1,500 just graded by PSA. That's just PSA, not even counting SGC or anybody else.
So how long has it been since you actually started really getting into tickets like hardcore? Was it about a year or 2?
Yeah, probably a year. I think is when I first contacted you about a few things, and you've helped me you've walked me through a lot of ticket purchases, and put some told me where to watch for the landmines. Ravel, he's another big help for me. Matter of fact, I got a big reveal. He just sent me something today in the mail, so I haven't even opened it. I think I've got FedEx package right here.
Oh wow! Maybe you could make some news and open it right in front of us.
Yeah, I will. That's why I didn't open it.
Yeah. So
and interesting enough, and it's stuff like this. So my wife is a antiquer. She likes to do antiques. She does antique furniture. So we go to antique shops. We go to flea markets so she can get her stuff. She makes it. I try to get her to monetize her talents, but she has nothing to do with it. She gives everything away. But while I'm there, I run across the booth, and this is what I run into. Okay, so a guy has this.
Mm-hmm.
Last, you know what it is. It's Dale Earnhardt's last race, Daytona, 2001. I think it was February 18th February 18th, 2001. Wow. I just asked him, said, how much do you want for it? And he initially said $50. I said, look, I'll give you 200 with the lanyard. So it was outside the lanyard. This is the actual lanyard that went to the race. Yeah. So I gave him $200 because I know it's well worth more than that. And I don't even think I was telling my wife, I said I was gonna send it to PSA. I don't even think I'm gonna do that. It's in the original lanyard. It's laminated. What's PSA gonna do for it? It's a poor condition,
Right.
but it was at the race.
So this is
and it's
interesting.
stuff like that gets me going on the
Right.
tickets.
And that's, if somebody looks at your Instagram account, they see the huge tickets that you have and cards, you think that that's kind of your alley, but it sounds to me like you're really kind of becoming a hardcore ticket collector.
Yeah. I mean, it's stuff like, you're going to get my juices going now. Let's see. It's stuff like Kirk Gibson, 1988 World Series Game 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm on Live Auctioneers, and I see this whole display framed with Kirk Gibson signed photo and Vince Scully. And there's a ticket signed by Kirk Gibson, says MLB debut, and there's a ticket to the game, and there's a check from Vince Scully signed by Vince Scully. So I buy the whole thing. I think I paid $400 for it. I got the ticket graded, so that's Kirk Gibson's MLB debut.
Mm-hmm.
I got the ticket. That's the ticket to his MLB debut. Yeah. Then I got the ticket to the game graded, and then I got the check authenticated and graded.
Yeah,
for Vince Scully. And it's stuff like that because I remember that game. I was watching that game.
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the most exciting baseball games I ever saw.
So how would you reply to the people who say, and you see this all the time in comments, especially with Ravel, the people say, why on earth would you ever collect a ticket to a game that you didn't ever go to?
Why would I?
Why would
you? Because of the memory of just even watching it.
Yeah.
The memory of the way it made me feel.
Right.
But then you go to Mickey Mantle debut. He's one of the most iconic baseball players ever. Not only is this a debut, but this is a moment. I think this is a moment in time that just started it all with Mickey Mantle.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most iconic baseball card out there?
Yeah.
Mickey Mantle's 52. And he did in 51. The reason I like this ticket, and I know you know this, Sean, and I think you discussed it with Mike a little bit, and is the gate number. That was his number for, I think, at least that game, if not the whole 51 season.
Yeah.
And then his career number is number 7 through the section.
Yeah.
So I went after that ticket hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got it. He probably was the most. I read his interview on this game. He was probably the most nervous he's ever been in his entire life. Hitting behind DiMaggio. You know how pitchers are. They pitch to people. If they think they're going to be able to blow somebody away, they might have walked DiMaggio and pitched to Mantle, and Mantle got his first hit in that game. So he went 1 for 4.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this is Bob Shepard's debut game too, the legendary announcer for the Yankees.
And that's I didn't realize that, and you mentioned that in one of my posts that was those tickets, the ones that have multiple points of historic importance, I think are especially interesting, and they should.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think that's why I like the 6 and the 7 on there too.
Yeah, it's nice touch. It
does add a nice touch to it.
What are some other, what was like your biggest purchase, and what are some of the other, larger ticket buys that you made, and kind of walk through your thought process about going after some of the bigger boys?
Well, I think so. I think you mentioned this on your Sergio interview about the Messi debut. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're at first you thought they were pretty rare, but then they started popping up everywhere. Okay, and so they're really a dime a dozen. I wouldn't say a dime a dozen, but they're not as popular as they were. And then so I had an opportunity through a guy in New York who is exclusive with Messi, and so I got a Messi debut, not a high grade one, but signed. It's a 1/1.
Yeah.
So this 1/1 means more to me than a 7. And this is a PSA 1.5. More to me than a 7 full. And this is Stub. just because it's signed. It's the only one. I don't even. There's no full signed either.
Yeah.
Same thing with this Pele. I'd rather. There's so many Pele debuts, especially listed now.
Yeah.
Golden sold, I think, 4 of them this last auction, and I think PWCC has a few. But this is the last game of the World Cup. And he inscribed it youngest world champion Pele.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's this is the kind of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
This is a moment. Ravel would have been proud. Matter of fact, Ravel likes this ticket too. And there's a stamp on the back that kind of authenticates it.
Right.
Better.
So about the moments in the debuts and that whole debate, how do you respond to that?
I respond. There's room for both. I think debuts are moments, if you ask me. I mean, well, actually, Jackie's in a realm of his own. Jackie, but the best basketball player ever. You got Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That was the moment he stepped foot on the court and, scored his first point.
Right.
And where did you acquire that one?
This one was private sale. I think a guy hit me up on Instagram, Bobble D, Danny Bear. I don't know if you guys know him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, yeah, so a good guy. Another debut, Kobe. This is a low pop. I know a full is coming out pretty soon on Heritage. I know that another full is actually at PSA for sure. I'm not going to disclose my source on that one because I'm actually trying to get it.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give this one away for that one and probably some cash behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your bigger tickets, do you think you bought them more through private purchases or more through auction houses?
Private purchases, some bigger ones.
Are you reaching out to people like networking? Are they reaching out to you? How do these usually go
They're
down?
reaching out to me. They I've been taken a couple of times, but I'm learning my lessons. But hey, it all goes back to what I want. I'm a big boy. I can make decisions for myself. So, I do. If I want something, I'm going to pay what I think. That's why I like auctions, because you're not going to pay more than what it's worth. You and I are bidding against each other.
Right. We've seen with auctions though, sometimes stuff just goes for way more than it should, and so that's not sure bet either, but it can be. It's definitely better.
Yeah, but when you say more than it should, what's more than it should? Because my feeling is if 2 people are willing to pay the price for it. Then...
But I guess it would be because it's the market is unaware of the population at that time, and then all of a sudden a lot more come out.
Sure.
The market corrects, and so the early adopters, so to speak, would be the ones who paid more than they should, I guess.
Oh well, of course, yeah, but it doesn't hurt them, or the people like the Brewers owner, or whatever. But I think he was he did okay on his. Where's Michael Jordan? I lost my Michael Jordan. Anyway,
I have the
Michael
same
Jordan. I'm like, what did I do with it? No, there's actually 3 pop reports on the Michael Jordan debut.
Yeah, there's actually more than 3, and this is a problem that a lot of people are having. I saw Ravel even mentioned the other day that there was only 23. There's actually 40 because there's several different categories that you have to add.
Absolutely. Now, I did talk to David Lee over at PSA, and he said some of those are overlapping from other pop reports.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so they sent in for to get relabeled, and they overlap into a different pop report. So he said there's probably more or less than 30.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
Close.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. You figure they would get that figured out because like we've seen, there's been 4 different versions, and there's been a lot of sales. Since we're talking about the Jordan ticket, I can pull up, my screen that basically shows, what. Let me see what the best way to kind of pull this up. This is kind of the pop report. So the most recent sales, the different versions, right? Like this one.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We had the 3 on Hugging Scott, I believe. The 5 went for 110,000,
Oh,
and then which surprised me. Then a lower grade, a 3 went for 52, and then the Ticketron 1 went for 36, and then there's the hunt coming up, but then the golden auction one went.
yeah, it kind of tanked a little bit, didn't it?
Which I thought,
Yeah.
if I'm going to have any of these that sold, I would prefer the red. That's a 2 with a writing on the back for 108.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Right. Then
Yeah.
and the 110 of this one, which is the generic version, but it's the higher grade. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd
I'm
like
with
to
you.
hear what Mark thinks about that, because it seems like, I mean, we've talked about this quite a bit, that we much prefer a lower grade red than the other versions. But it seems like card collectors who are kind of getting into tickets, they maybe are confused or they have a different feeling. What do you think about that, Mark?
I think you hit it on the head. Card collectors are getting confused with. Oh, there's my Jordan. Okay, I didn't pay near.
Right.
Thank God I found it. I didn't pay near what they just sold one for on Golden. I didn't pay near that. But what I will say is card collectors are starting to get into it, and then they start looking at the grade, but they don't understand. These are season tickets. Okay,
Yeah.
they got the Bulls on the back. They don't have all 3 teams.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not Ticketron, and there's very few of these. I bet you there's less than 8 of the Reds out there. There might be more. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I guess I'd probably. How many would you think, Sean?
It's hard to say. I think that of the ones I've seen, and I track the Jackie Robinson very closely, and I was thinking about starting to track the red version of the Jordan debut too, because in that same way you can track the seating number, and then just keep tabs on each one that you see, because a lot of times there's repeats, so you get this idea that there's more than there really is. But my guess is 10 to 15, including all the raws that exist, because
Exactly.
but I'm no expert.
Well, it could be. It really could be. It could be 10 to 15.
So
Mark,
I would say closer to 10, but yeah, sure.
We've seen, like, in the last year in the card market, the super rare stuff has held its value or gone up, and a lot of the generic, more high populated stuff, the base card stuff, has leveled off or gone down. How do you feel in the ticket world with the high end rare tickets and the more the heavily populated tickets will do in the future?
When you say heavily populated, if you're comparing them to cards, I don't think you're going to find heavily populated tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, even I think 25 is a heavily populated.
Right. I guess that would kind of be the if I see something with more than 40 or 50, I'm like, oh wow, that's getting up there.
No, sure, yeah.
Grading.
But then you look at the Gretzky debut. How do I do this? Okay.
Yeah.
Get back here. You get this Gretzky debut. I think it's a pop 8.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't really a high grade one. I've talked to a guy that has a 9. Mine's a 3 MK. It's got the score on the back.
Yeah.
See, 4-2 win, which I like. Ravel doesn't like the MKs, but if you look at the Jackie Robinson, I don't know. I take that back. If you look at the Roberto Clemente final game,
Mm-hmm.
you can see has nothing to do with Clemente on the back of it, and it's the score, the date. So the date won 4-3 in last inning, 1 on pass ball.
Yeah.
So the guy was actually using it as a scorecard.
Right.
And it's the highest graded. So it's a 6. So there's 2 other 6s without markings, and then there's this one.
Yeah. I think that it is kind of cool sometimes when it preserves a piece of that history along with it.
I think so. The guy was at the game watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I got game 4, which was his final homer.
Mm-hmm.
And then
You feel like that, of course I prefer it not to be written on it, but if it's on the back, I feel like it kind of does give it character. Like, oh yeah, it's just like, somebody was there and they were into it and they came home and were excited and wrote Bulls win or, Jordan debut. And then kind of,
I'll tell you, an insanely low pop debut is both the Tom Brady stub, which no big deal, and the Tom Brady full signed debut. This is a 7. I actually got this from Rosenberg? From guy out of Houston.
Oh yeah, I think it is Rosenberg.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Was that?
And
That
then,
was just
pardon me.
I'll say that was just a. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of an untapped market. Not untapped, but the going through the private outlets. A lot of times I don't feel like I network with people.
Well, I can do
as
some
much
horse
as you.
trading that way. I can do horse trading that way, and you don't have to worry about. With the Jackie, I did a little bit of horse trading, and then which was good. It was a good deal, and it doesn't show up on any auctions. And
yeah. So how would you characterize yourself more as an investor or a collector or some mix in between? Is this just for fun?
Oh, strictly a collector.
Yeah.
Strictly a collector. This, like my Montana debut, his seat number, row 16. This was highly contested with me and Ravel too. I'm telling you, I went after him on it. Matter of fact, I went so much to call David Lynn at PSA, and I said, "You called it Ravel, and you need him to retract his video." and David called him, sent him the video of Montana coming off the field.
I remember seeing the video online. I was like,
I remember seeing the video. Did you post that video or did Ravel?
No, Ravel had to.
Yeah.
David told Ravel to. So
that's great.
Yeah. So I guess I'm mainly a collector. I mean, everything I think at one point in time is going to be for sale, but not right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what would take for you to sell some of your bigger tickets, and what kind of timeline do you see if you were to sell them?
First of all, it'd be a stupid amount of money offered. It would have to be just stupid for me to turn it down. And then, there is a time. I'm 52 years old. I'm going to be 53 this year. So, I mean, there's going to be a time I'm going to want to retire. I don't need to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pick the ones I want to keep and give down to my kids. And, they're like, say kids, they're 30 and 25 and 30 years old. So.
If you had, say, 3 or 5 tickets, you said these are going to me to my grave, which ones would they be?
Obviously, the Jackie, the Gretzky, the Mantle. I can't find my Mantle. Here it is. Tom Brady. He's a little prima donna, so yeah, I'd let him go. I'll tell you the other one I'd keep that would go to my grave is there's only 4 of them graded by PSA. Is Mickey Mantle playing shortstop and second base. The game he played shortstop and second base. He only played 1 game infield. So, and I love that ticket.
It's got the 7 too.
And I got this from Justin. Justin told me that, and I won one on Heritage. So I have 2 of the 4.
Well,
so the one on Heritage is going to PWCC, and then I'll get it sent to me. This is another one. The Black Sox, the first game, Coyotes. He hit the first batter. To signal that the fix was on.
Fix was on.
Yeah. That's kind of a junky stuff, but I picked that up pretty cheap. I mean, $2,500 on Live Auctioneers for that ticket. That's my oldest ticket too.
Yeah, that is a solid price. Do you? So, Marc, do you do ticket selling at all through PWCC or just cards, or do you?
Listen, I just do cards, and they just hold them in the vault. I have a Tom Brady Contenders PSA 10 that's up for sale for $5 million in their fixed price, and then I have that 1 of 1 Montana that I posted today.
Right.
The 10-10. Yeah, it's a 1 of 1. That's probably a $500,000 card. Those are the only two I've listed, but everything else is in the vault.
So you're, as far as cards go, are you out? Are you not involved in that at all?
Oh no, not by any stretch of the imagination. I'd still invest in cards too.
Yeah.
If you had to pick cards or tickets, which one would you pick?
If I did say that again?
If you had to pick cards or tickets, like you can only buy or have a cards or tickets, which one? What would you pick?
I'd go tickets all day long.
Really?
It's too organic. It's just I can't tell you enough on how much I love these tickets. I mean, just the story they tell, the Jackie. I mean, think about this. And I don't know how many people. I think you get about 300 viewers, but
we're trying for more.
This is this rookie. Okay.
Yeah.
1,500 graded by PSA, and I have two of them. I have two rookie, and then I have two SGCs of the same card. Okay. What is there? 8 of these in PSA or 9? What is it?
There's 8. There's 8.
8. Okay, so there's 8. There's one over at SGC, and there's a couple maybe raw out there. There's
2 raw, yeah. That I'm aware of. There might be more, but
okay. Know. I mean, this was at the game.
Yeah.
This heard all the chants. This heard, went through all the motions. Yeah. Other than the jersey he was wearing, how close can you get to Jackie Robinson in this?
Yeah, yeah, and it tracks to a specific game. In my opinion,
in a day, yeah.
And a lot of people complain that ticket collectors call debuts rookie cards, but in my opinion, it's better than a rookie card. Because it tracks to that specific event instead of just the entire season,
100%, 100%. It's so iconic, and even the Mickey Mantle. I mean, I like the ones that knew. Jackie was a pretty good athlete. I mean, he was an All-American athlete in football at UCLA, and I think his brother even was in the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. His older brother was some kind of Olympian that he won a silver medal in the Olympics. But Jackie did, I think, in a lot of ways, Jackie was the trailblazer for the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Even with and before Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept his mouth shut and he played the game and he earned the respect of his players and the crowd.
And even to today, it seems to April 15th every year, which is coming up, seems to become a more important date each year. It's celebrated in baseball, and so the significance of that ticket is never going to go away. It's never going to kind of get brushed off into history like a lot of famous athletes in different eras happen.
Of course, yeah.
And that date's coming up, and a lot of people could argue, or some might argue, that the work stoppage was, that the end to the work stoppage this year was in part because the 75th anniversary was coming up, and they didn't want to. Both sides didn't want to miss that, and so it might have had an effect on getting that done.
I think it would have. I think Major League Baseball didn't want to miss it. I think a lot of their decision making was based on it.
Yeah.
So, got one more. Let's see. I thought I had my Lou Brock. I don't know what your Mike. I don't know what you are on baseball so this is Lou Brock breaking Ty Cobb's stolen base record. Okay, but they also say Billy Hamilton was ahead of Ty Cobb. But see, with the Billy Hamilton stats, Billy Hamilton. Just to give you a background, he played for the Boston Bean Eaters. If that gives you the dates,
right.
It goes back in the 1800s. So different stats tell you different things. Now they all exceed Ty Cobb's, but they don't recognize him above Ty Cobb. Some stats do, and they'll put him above Ty Cobb.
Right.
But this is a plea to the public, looking for the Ricky Henderson breaking Lou Brock's record.
Is that the single season or the career?
Stolen base.
Yeah, for career.
For career, yeah, stolen base. So this was 893 breaking Ty Cobb's record.
Those are
And
those are fairly common. You should be able to get one
yeah,
of those.
I've been, lately I've been trying to find them. I like that Loop Rock one because I'll show you. They used to do these baseball camps in where was Dodgertown, Vero Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see,
Is that?
me and Lou.
Oh, nice.
You and Lou, man, you
How
on your
old-
Me
how old
and
is
phone.
Lou. Well, I'm 53, so that was 20 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's me and Brooks Robinson.
Nice.
So you more of a baseball guy over the other
Oh, I
sports?
grew up, Yankee fan, baseball guy, Skrimsky. Now I shared that with his grandson on Instagram, and he commented, he plays for the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. Defiant himself, it's Pete Rose.
Heroes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the catching gear all ready to go.
Yeah. Luke Brock even said, he goes, I wouldn't, with you behind the dish, I wouldn't steal. He ain't Bob Gibson.
Nice.
That's a tall guy.
He's a big dude.
And this is the last one I'm going to bore you with. Yastrzemski and Brock together.
Nice.
So we had a lot of fun with those baseball. My wife got those for me every year.
Yeah. Is it so, Mark? Is there any big tickets that you don't have that you really are trying to find?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. There was one I was talking about the other day that I wanted. Yeah, the Kobe full. That I'm probably either going to go after on Heritage,
Yeah.
depending, or get the one that's at PSA right now.
Okay.
That one's going to be the one at PSA right now is going to be a horse trade deal. I like those because I have plenty to trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yeah, when I first started talking to you, you didn't have anything to trade. Now maybe
I had nothing.
Yeah, lots of. Yeah, that's great. Wow.
I had nothing. But
Yeah.
It's funny when I first got into it, it really wasn't that popular. I was able to get good deals here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last appearance. Let's see. One of my favorites. Okay, so I've been hunting this one. This is the Pine Tar game. Where'd Mike go? You had to leave?
No, I'm here. I'm back.
Oh. Okay. So this is the Pine Tar game. It's a full.
Right.
So I actually put in the George Brett Pine Tar game in eBay. Hits refresh and nothing came up. I mean, there would nothing would pop up. Then before I turned off the computer, I hit refresh one more time. Newly listed. I just slammed. I think it was $2,000. I slammed buy it now, and I was hoping the guy would just send it to me.
Yeah, usually the super rare stuff, it definitely goes quick on eBay. I've noticed.
I do collect signatures too, and like this Babe Ruth check, it was graded a 10.
Oh, nice! Wow, that's good.
And then not big on Walt Disney right now, but it's not him. So this is a Walt Disney check made out to his daughter. And in the memo section, if you can see that, it says Merry Christmas. And it was for $500. So equivalent to about, and that was in 1955.
Yeah.
So equivalent to about $5,000 probably in today's money. And then you see his script, the way he signs his name. That's Disney. That's what they've adopted as their script.
Yeah.
At Walt Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really
so
cool.
he was actually, I like Walt Disney. He was one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Well, I know you wanted to give your thoughts on the whole card porn controversy. So what did you think about all that ridiculousness?
Okay, so I think first of all it was unprovoked, and like I said before, somewhat childish. I mean, why jump into something you know nothing about and say tickets are uncollectible? They're just not collectible. Well, I got a whole closet full of assault rifles. I collect those. Don't tell me they're not collectible. They're all, I got 3 full autos. I mean, I collect all kinds of stuff in there. I mean, everybody collects something. But for them to opine on that and say they're not collectible, I think if you want to call out market manipulators, those guys are big influencers in the card market. You were seeing a good crossover from cards to tickets. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that just chased a bunch of people away. I think that's one of the reasons why the Golden Jordan was so suppressed.
Yeah, it might have had some. I think that one of my observations about just collectors in general in the sports world is that everybody collects all kinds of things, and it's rare that you find somebody who's exclusively just into cards.
Yeah.
And it's those people who have the problem with, the other people. Yeah, because I collect other things too. Tickets are my favorite, but I have all kinds of different sports stuff that's just crazy. And
well, exactly. My card collection way surpasses in value my ticket collection.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that most people who collect cards collect all kinds of memorabilia. And tickets appeal to them as well, even if they don't collect them. They understand. And if you read through all those comments on the Cardborn thing, most people, even if they weren't ticket collectors, were saying that tickets are cool to collect. That's fine. It's not my thing, but it's fine because they understand the concept of collecting other things related to the stuff, whether they're a player collector, team collector, whatever.
Of course.
So,
of course. And I think, and like I said, on the flip side, I don't think you should have big influencers that have conflicts of interest like Nat Turner endorsing tickets or saying they're the next big thing. Because then what you do is you have a big audience, you have a big following, and it's just, you don't know what his motives are. They could be as pure can be. It's just, you've got to question, there's always a question mark over what Nat is going to endorse.
Yeah.
Because, and then Golden came out and said something about tickets too. I just think a lot of that was so in concert that I just found it real fishy. I didn't like it at all. I really didn't.
Yeah, it seems like that's what happens a lot. I don't know how into cards you were back in the junk wax era, but there's a lot of parallels that I remember just as a kid because I was a teenager. But I remember all of a sudden everybody would be into a different genre of cards, and that's when basketball cards became popular. And Beckett Basketball Card Monthly, and then football cards, and even hockey cards became popular. And so it was like everybody was looking for the next big thing, and I see a lot of parallels with that now. And then of course it's influencers who are doing their thing, but
that's why it's so important not to. A lot of people are chasing this investment aspect of it. You got to quit doing that. You got to just go find something you like and collect it. All right. And put it away and collect it. You don't quit watching the market, what the next one sold for. Quit doing that. Yeah. You got to go in, find something you like. One of my favorites. Okay.
You're welcome.
I will never, again, thank you. I would never get rid of this. I would never, trade this in either. I don't even think I'm going to get it slabbed. This is how organic can you get? This was at the race, and someone had it around their neck and saw the accident. I mean, not that I glorify the accident, but so in light of the Masters this weekend, this was my Masters badge, Tiger's first win. There's about 100 and PSA pop on these. Who but when they. I think Ravel did a thing on his story this weekend as far as this becoming one of the most, like a $14,000 badge once everybody figured out Tiger was going to be there. Sean's asleep. Oh, never mind. You froze.
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze. But so it became a big ticket. So what's even more intriguing about what Ravel posted, the unsealed ones, was the unused ones. If they were still sealed in the plastic. So it's basically a $14,000 waste of money.
Right. Like, why? How did that not get used?
Yeah. So this is the package he sent me today.
Open it up.
So you need to tag Ravel in this.
Frank. Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. It's It's the sealed one, and this is only a pop 2.
Wait,
Nice.
so you traded for that, or did you buy that from? That's from
We made
Ravel?
a deal on it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
We made a good deal on it.
You are a horse
Ravel
trader. I need to be more
Ravel
active trading.
Yeah.
Ravel treated me good on this one. Matter of fact, tag him in this post. But this is the sealed one. These are insanely slabbed. Look how thick these slabs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And then the one I have here is even more so because of the pin
Right.
on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's a nice differentiator with it in the bag, being so rare. 'Cause those are
how's that? Is that still
about there.
glares?
If you tilt it a little bit, it takes away the glare.
Yeah, you like to kind of tilt it forward.
I had my back screens on, so
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, nice.
You see the pin,
Right.
Yeah,
so
they get. You can't stack these. It's only problem.
Well, no, we're looking to try to keep it under an hour, but I want to kind of, we are three the people that the one big thing we have in common is we all own Jackie debuts, and I kind of like to put them up there to kind of compare them. I think Sean has the nicest one.
I know he does. I absolutely know he does.
Yeah. Somebody screenshot this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to. I got some glare on mine, but yeah, I think Sean. Sean, what are your flaws on yours?
It's a 2 because on the back you can't even really see it, but there's some glue staining, and that's
Right.
it. Otherwise, like the 2 that just sold to
Right.
the Milwaukee Brewers owner, not as nice as mine. But
No, not even close.
I'm biased.
And then yours, Mark. What is yours? I can't with the glare. Is it a 1 or authentic?
It's a 1.5.
Oh, 1.5. Okay.
Yeah, it's the third highest one, and it's obvious on mine. Yours is nice. I like yours, Mike. Other than the little rip at the bottom, but I got one of those too on mine.
Right. And yeah, looking at mine, the only flaw, there's that crease, like basically it's been folded in half, but it's hard to tell. And then there's like holes where somebody stapled it, I think.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
that.
so I don't think it could go higher than a 1, right? I mean, basically it'd be a 1.5, I'd guess, if PSA graded it.
Yeah, they hit you hard on the staple holes or the punch holes.
Right.
Mine you could tell was in an album somewhere. There's some tape residue on this corner right here. So it was actually a display. And you know where I got mine. They're actually having a 75th anniversary party, Ravel speaking at it.
And you're not there?
I was invited. No, I can't make it.
I mean, yours, was it a straight purchase or a trade?
There's some trading going on with this one.
Man.
Jordan rookie.
Nice.
I had a couple Jordan PSA 10s that I bought. Listen to this. In 2017 and in 2019. Well, in 17 it was about 15K, and in 19 it was about 23, 24. Remember, it was 23 I paid for the one in 19.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me. I had a SGC 10 though. I paid $11,000 for it in 2018. Still have it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So I'm looking to do the same thing. Just trade it straight up for just a huge ticket that I couldn't otherwise afford.
Of course.
But
where do you guys see the high-end, super high-end cards and the super high-end tickets? Have we hit like a plateau? Still room to run? More upside, more downside on the high for cards and our tickets?
I think your commons are going to go either stay the same or go down. So if you own a common, you want to you just get rid of it. If it's a 96 Topps Chrome Kobe Bryant, I mean, if you don't want to lose any more money on it, or if you want to just make money back, just sell it. Okay. If you bought an 8.5 Jordan in February of 2021, just because you couldn't get a hold of a 9 or a 10, and you way overspent for it, you're not going to get more than what it's worth right now. I think the commons are going to stay the same. Your ultra rare, numbered, limited editions are going to continue to go up.
What about in the ticket space? How do you feel about the higher end stuff? Have we hit a plateau? Kind of not much crazy increases, slow increases. How do you feel about some of the bigger stuff you have?
I feel like the card porn thing and the the comments made around the auction that happened at Golden, I think that affected that suppressed that auction. If I was the consigner there, I'd ask for a redo, because I think the one at Hunt is actually going to go for more than that. And people just stay in their own lane. I mean, just let these things play out. Let people buy what they like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Hunt one up right here, and it's it's a pretty. I think the difference was the other one had writing on the back, and this one doesn't.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan MLB debut, and I think
Yeah,
maybe had the score.
Yeah, the one on Golden, basically. Yeah, how you can see it there.
Yeah,
and I think it was a little nicer, but it had this little hole on the front, and the Hunt one, I think maybe has some creases in it.
They're both good looking, and I think they're probably some of the best looking season tickets I've seen.
Yeah, I agree. And I noticed, I've been at some card shows, and when you're doing card shows and showing tickets, the ones people talk about are ones that look like this, that you don't even really have to look at the PSA. You instantly know, okay, this is a Michael Jordan, and then it's a debut, and it just looks so good. But I will say I've had people like freak out when they see the Jackie, and you can't even tell what that is. But when they know, I've had people wanting to hold it, they want to take their picture with it. Just weird stuff. Like,
let me tell you something. That thing belongs. One of these tickets belongs in the Smithsonian.
Right.
They need to go to either Washington D.C. or a museum needs to have one of these pieces.
Speaking of that, I actually contacted the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I was an intern there after college, and they don't own one at the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
which is really surprising. I thought that for sure they would. They have a huge ticket collection.
And I'm surprised they haven't approached somebody for one.
Yeah. Touching on
the Brewers owner would be the guy.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
But I've really noticed, if I had some major tickets out, the Gehrig Luckiest Man game, a Jordan debut, blue and white, and everything. And man, the thing that's really I've seen them freak out is that Jackie ticket, which is like, that's why I don't plan on selling it I don't think any of us do. And we're basically 25% or 20% of the ownership of the Jackies that we know of.
Yeah, around 25%. Three out of 11.
Yeah, 3 out of 11 are basically planned to hold. So curious to see if any pop up in the future.
You'll like this. I'm not going to get specific with you because you know why. But I was actually, after we made the deal on the Jackie, offered more money to back out of the deal.
Somebody else wanted it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You aren't going to believe who it was either.
I know he's been chasing one for a while.
We're gonna have to talk offline a little bit. This I feel like there's a story behind this.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't
have
one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right,
I did write some notes down. So
okay.
Yeah, I went through Sergio J. Roby. Let's see, Masters, Tal Earnhardt, Roberto Clemente, Czechs. Oh, did you know card porn was at the Drake break? I call it the Drake break with Golden.
Yeah, I saw they talked about that a little bit on there.
Yeah, that's why it just gives me the heebie-jeebies about their comments, and I think it's too contrived.
It's almost like a different world. It's not. It's really just a lot of hype and a lot of wanting to get clicks and wanting to get attention. It seems
exactly.
So.
Yeah, my buddy has a good quote, especially with cards. He says, if you're not part of the hustle, then you're being hustled. So if you're not in the know, then if you're not in, then you're out.
And I'm going to plug, I don't know what you guys feel about them, but PWCC, these guys in 2018, Brent Huggins got with me when I started bidding on his site. And he had literally walked me through the process. He gave me a list of cards that I need to target. He told me he told me about vintagecardprices.com, get a membership. This is how you look up your comps. he would call me on a Sunday to tell me that an auction's closing at Golden and I need to try to get this ticket on Golden Auctions. I mean, literally deferring me away from his auction and sending me other auctions. Those guys are a class act. I mean, they don't do everything right. Don't get me wrong, but those guys,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're top notch.
I've sold cards through them numerous times and never had anything but great experience with it. So
I think Brent is the one I talked to at the Dallas show, and he was a great guy, super knowledgeable.
I haven't talked to Brent in a while. Jesse's been my go-to. Jesse's my brother, man. I'll tell you, I walk through brick walls for Jesse.
Well, here's something that they should be aware of and that they should pursue, and that's the ticket market. there's no auction house that does it the right way and has a good reputation with tickets. Heritage
not
is
even Heritage,
but
Golden
and Golden. I don't know if you saw, Mike, their auction that just posted, but man, it's the same thing. It's just a bunch of junk.
That's it. That's why I won't put my stuff on Golden.
There's a couple pretty good ones here and there, but it's just
stuff that's lost. I had a great experience with Heritage. I'd recommend them. I feel like they're getting better too. But yeah, Golden, they just throw everything up there, and stuff gets lost.
The thing with Heritage is they bring a broad range of high-end buyers of not just tickets or not just sporting, but just collectors. The high-end collectors. If you put a Jackie Robinson on Golden, or you mean on Heritage, which one just went for. I mean, you see what it went for, because it brings in, even though he was a team owner, it just brings in a whole bunch of eyeballs. I think that wouldn't have been there in the first place. But if you go on PWCC on their premier auction right now, they have a 1992 Nissan Los Angeles Open Riviera CC Tiger Woods on there, the highest grade out there, PSA 7.
I saw that they had a couple. They had a couple tickets, and I'm encouraged by that. I hope that they continue down that road, because I personally would probably, just because I have experience selling through them with cards, that if I was going to sell tickets, I would, as long as I knew that it was going to be a good experience.
Here's what I know about them, okay? Because I text Jesse when I bought the Michael Jordan. I text him. I said, "What do you know about tickets?" And he goes, "I haven't done enough research." And since then, he's done so much research on them. They've highlighted these things. If you go to the videos, they highlight the videos on them. That's one thing they'll do, is they'll educate themselves. And they'll do a video on each one of these tickets. If you click on the ticket, there's a video describing the ticket, the origin, the significance of it. And that's not done enough in these other auctions. Matter of fact, it's not done at all.
Yeah,
that'd be that's definitely a good tool that they're using.
So yeah, PWCC is definitely top. They're pros. They don't talk bad about anybody else. They just stay in their own lane and they just drive forward and innovate. So I like those guys.
Yeah, hopefully they'll continue to, like Sean was saying, to broaden their ticket sales and auctions.
I think the more the auctions go on, the more tickets get popular. Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Marc, thank you for coming on here. Really appreciate it. It's great to, pick your brain and see what you got. You're a true horse trader, big time collector, extraordinaire. I see the Instagram posts and it's like, man, what's this guy have? Where's he getting all this stuff? And now we kind of a little more insight into everything.
Well, I'll tell you, I got a good contact in New York who has a Pele and Messi contact. So I get a lot of the Pele and Messi through that guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for taking the time.
And we'll have to talk about that Jackie issue after. And then if anybody wants to know, they can message Marc.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again.
All right. You guys be good. Have fun at the Rangers game.
All right.
Talk to you later.